Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able to sing number 122, Sound Over All Waters, which will be projected up front, but if you look and if you can't actually read the words, pick up the hymnal in the chair in front of you or under you. Okay. Sound over all waters, reach out from all lands, the chorus of voices, the clasping of hands. Rise, hope of the ages, arise like the sun. All speech flow to music, all hearts beat as one. Sing, bridal of nations, with chorals of love. Sing out the war vulture and sing in the dove. With glad jubilation, sing hope for the world. The great storm is ending, the clouds are all furled. Sound trumpets of triumph for marches of peace. East, west, north, and south, let the long quarrel cease. Sing songs of great joy that the angels began. Give glory to children, to woman and man. Hark, joining the chorus, the heavens resound. The old day is ending, a new day is crowned. Rise, hope for the ages, arise like the sun. All speech flow to music, all hearts beat as one.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem. Thank you for taking time out of your busy lives to reconnect with yourself and with others, whether you're here in person or watching us virtually. We appreciate your presence here today. Very quickly, if you would turn to your right and say hello. Great. Now, if you Good job. Good job. Now, turn to your left and say, I'll see you at coffee.
I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. And in the spirit of doing things together, let us join together saying our affirmation. Love is our doctrine, compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world.
On a sleepy, endless ocean, when the lay in a dream. There was rhythm in the splash and roll, but not a voice to sing. So the moon fell on the breakers, and the morning warmed the waves, till a single cell did jump and hum for joy, as though to say, this is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then the day shone bright and rounder, till the one turned into two, and the two into 10,000 things, and old things into new. And on some virgin beachhead, one lonesome critter crawled, and he looked about, and he shouted out in his most astonished drawl, this is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Then all the sky was buzzing, and the ground was carpet green, and the wary children of the woods went dancing in between, and the people sang rejoicing when the fields were glad with grain, this song of celebration from their cities on the plain. This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Now there's smoke across the harbor, there's factories on the shore, and the world is ill with greed and will and enterprise of war. But I will lay my burdens in the cradle of your grace, and the shining beaches of your love, and the sea of your embrace. This is my home, this is my only home, this is the only sacred ground I have ever known. And should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden.
Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the heart's secret places. Blessed is the heart with strength to stop its beating for honor's sake. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Each week, we light 3 chalices. The first is for this congregation, a Unitarian Universalist congregation of Salem. We light our second chalice for our partner church in Šemen-Falva, Transylvania, Romania. And we light our third chalice for our children and youth in lifespan religious education and in our world at large. Let us sing the flame into life.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Good morning. Hi, can everybody young or young at heart please join me up front? Yes, I'm glad you're excited. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hi there. Hi. Thank you. So this month, our theme in LRE is resistance, especially resisting injustice. In today's lesson in LRE, we will reflect on how we are strong together. By joining together, we can do more than by ourselves. The Jewish holiday of Passover is taking place this month. It celebrates the story of how the Jewish people long ago in Egypt joined together to escape. They helped each other. The long journey would have been too scary for someone to do all by themselves. So remember that when we join together, we help each other be stronger. And today, when we go out, your grown-ups are going to be talking about forgiveness and saying, I'm sorry. And so I found a poem for you called Forgiven by A. Milne. It's about a beetle. That's that green thing right there. I found a little beetle, so that beetle was his name. And I called him Alexander, and he answered just the same. I put him in a matchbox, and I kept him all the day. And Nanny let my beetle out. Yes, Nanny let my beetle out. She went and let my beetle out, and the beetle ran away. She said she didn't mean it, and I never said she did. She said she wanted matches, and she just took off the lid. She said that she was sorry, but it's difficult to catch. An excited sort of beetle you've mistaken for a match. She said that she was sorry, and I really mustn't mind, as there's lots and lots of beetles, which she's certain we could find. If we looked around the garden for the holes where beetles hid, and we get another matchbox and write beetle on the lid. We went to all the places which a beetle might be near, and we made the sort of noises which a beetle likes to hear. And I saw a kind of something, and I gave a sort of shout, a beetle house, an Alexander Beetle coming out. It was Alexander Beetle, I'm as certain as can be. And he had a sort of look as if he thought, it must be me. And he had a sort of look as if he thought he ought to say, I'm very, very sorry that I tried to run away. And Nanny's very sorry too, for you know what she did. And she's writing Alexander very blackly on the lid. So Nan and me are friends, because it's difficult to catch an excited Alexander you've mistaken for a match. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Hi, guys. Hi, we're about to create the love arch. You want to come on up here? Okay, you can wait for us down there. Okay, everybody stand up in the middle to make the love arch, and we'll be on our way. Thank you.
Wherever you walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk, walk in peace. Wherever you walk, walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you. You walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk, walk in peace. Wherever you walk, walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you.
From Jack Cornfield. Forgiveness enables us to be released from the sorrows of the past. Although it can arise spontaneously, it can also be developed. Forgiveness is an act of the heart, a movement to let go of the pain, the resentment, the outrage that you have carried as a burden for so long. It is an easing of your own heart. We have all been harmed, just as we have at times harmed others and ourselves. It is an act of compassion for yourself and others to practice a forgiveness meditation. Let us practice 3 forgiveness meditations. Let yourself sit comfortably, allowing your eyes to close and your breath to be natural and easy. Let your body and mind relax. Breathing softly, begin asking and extending forgiveness, letting the images and feelings that come and go as they will. Forgiveness of others. Repeat quietly in your mind, there are many ways that I have hurt and harmed others, have betrayed or abandoned them, caused them suffering, knowingly or unknowingly, out of my pain, fear, anger, and confusion. For that hurt, I ask your forgiveness. I ask your forgiveness. Forgiveness for yourself. Repeat quietly in your mind, there are many ways that I have hurt and harmed myself. I have betrayed or abandoned myself many times through thought, word, or deed, knowingly or unknowingly. For the ways I have hurt myself through action or inaction, out of fear, pain, and confusion, I now extend a full and heartfelt forgiveness. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Forgiveness for those who have hurt or harmed you. Repeat quietly in your mind, there are many ways that I have been harmed by others, abused or abandoned, knowingly or unknowingly, in thought, word, or deed. Now say to yourself, I remember the many ways others have hurt or harmed me, wounded me, out of fear, pain, confusion, and anger. I have carried this pain in my heart too long. To the extent that I am ready, I offer them forgiveness. To those who have caused me harm, I offer my forgiveness. I forgive you. In time, you can make the forgiveness meditation a regular part of your life, letting go of the past and opening your heart to each new moment with a wise, loving kindness. May we be grateful for growing ability to forgive and to have compassion for ourselves and for others as we walk the path of compassion and gratitude.
Good morning. I'm Eric Schumann from Lifelines Lay Ministry, and we'll begin with joys and concerns. 2 concerns have been submitted today. One from Margaret Gregg. We see Margaret virtually every week here, but she had to go to Victoria, BC to visit her sister who had a massive stroke. She says, "My sister in Victoria will see her 70th birthday this coming Friday. She suffered a stroke this past Wednesday that gave her a 25% chance of survival. She had brain surgery to remove 2 blood clots, and on Saturday I was able to bring her home from the hospital, minus only a few brain cells that died along the way. She's doing so well, we're quite sure she didn't need those anyway. We are joyful and oh so grateful." So keep Margaret in your thoughts. The second was submitted online just a few minutes ago, and it's from Natalie. And it says, "Please keep our sister Katie in your thoughts and prayers. She is struggling with sobriety." And we have one more candle to light, and that is a candle for all those joys and concerns and sorrows that are unspoken that we have today. I'm going to tell you about Lifelines Lay Ministry, and I have one more candle. And that candle is a joy. And that joy is that Lifelines Lay Ministry, the group of us who are extending the ministry of presence of our Reverend Rick, has doubled in the past few months. And if you're a member of Lifelines, would you please stand? There they are. So we have 12 members now. We had 6 just a few months ago, and I'm very excited about that. There are ways that you can submit your joys and concerns to us by signing this book, which is in the foyer every Sunday morning for you to submit your joys and concerns. And there's 2 ways you can do that. And somebody did an unusual way that we've invited you to do this morning. There's a little spot where you can say, "Read by Lifelines Lay Minister," meaning me or the person who's taking this job in the morning, or you can check book only. So one of us checked book only this morning. Didn't want it read, but it was a way of submitting it and saying, "I want your support." So the book is out there for you to read or for you to submit a joy or concern every Sunday morning. And the other way you can see it is by looking at the UU Salem webpage, and under the service for this week, you'll see the joys and concerns. In fact, you'll see all of them back for months and months and months. And you can contact Lifelines Lay Ministry by emailing us. That's probably the easiest way, at the address that you see on the screen, or you can call the church office at the church number, or even better, you can reach us at the Lifelines table, which we staff now every Sunday morning during the coffee hour. So join us in any way that you can, and we are here for you.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way. But I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I have taken a moment to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance that I have come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not yet ended.
When I was 6 or 7 years old, my family was living in Rolla, Missouri. And the first house we lived in was in a suburban area. A 1970 ranch house with a bunch of other ranch-style houses. Within these houses were families, a lot of them with kids around my age. And with that came automatic friends. It was great. We would gather together after school and play various make-believe games. I remember Batman being a favorite. I liked being Catwoman, not because of the Catwoman, because it was a cat. But in any case, and whenever a family moved away, there was always a new one to take their place. So it was, I came to be living next door to a military family with 2 young boys. I think one was older than me and one was a little younger. And they joined the neighborhood games. One day, a particular friend and I went next door to get them. As soon as they came out of the house, we started laughing. We couldn't help it. Their hair had been cut so short, it was comical on these 2 little boys. So we laughed. We didn't mean to be cruel, and we didn't intend to hurt their feelings. We just thought it looked silly, so we laughed. The 2 boys ran inside crying, and I'm ashamed to say my friend and I didn't think any more about it and went on with our afternoon. That evening, the mom came over to my house and asked to speak to me and my friend about what had happened. She tried to tell us how our words had been hurtful and how the boys had looked up to us, so that when we laughed, it seemed really mean, whether we intended to be or not. My friend and I were surprised that our reaction would have such a big effect, and it seemed odd that anyone would look up to us. We're just kids. The mom said we needed to go apologize to the boys for laughing and to be nice to them. Feeling ashamed, we reluctantly went over and said we were sorry. The good news is that the boys quickly accepted our apology and continued to be our friends, and we never talked about their hair again. The bad news, at least for me, is that it didn't feel like I was giving a sincere apology. I was simply going through the motions so that this mom would stop making me feel guilty. I wasn't emotionally mature enough to understand human compassion, others' hurts feelings, and the benefit of apologizing. We are told that learning the art of apology is a valuable skill. Saying, "I am sorry," can break down more walls than the strongest river or the biggest bomb. But when and how do we really learn to apologize? It seems like it takes a lifetime to get it right, to open our own hearts and say, "I am truly sorry for any distress my actions caused for you." Sometimes in our culture, the act of apology is looked down upon as a weakness. Those who feel dominated having to say it more often than those who appear to dominate. And how many of us have grown tired of the constant, superficial, "I'm sorry," with almost every sentence just for voicing an opinion or factual information? This does not appear to be an apology for an offense that has been done, but a platitude, or possibly even an unknowing manipulation, because the immediate unconscious response is to listen more intently, and the polite response is always, "Oh no, that's okay." Well, isn't an opinion okay without having first to apologize for having one? I was reading sort of a satirical book called Understanding the British, saying the national motto should be, say sorry, carry on feeling guilty, and come back and apologize 6 more times just to be sure. There's even a handy flow chart which shows you if you should apologize or not. We're going to look at that. So there you are. And you see, if at first you say yes to the first question, and you've done something seriously wrong, if you really have, just don't say anything and carry it to your grave. But if you haven't, then there's a whole choice of things to do. This happens to take 2 slides in order to get to the bottom. And I like the end. Say sorry 400 times immediately. Time is ticking. You've nearly ruined everything. But on a more serious note, spiritual teachings around the world talk about the healing aspects of forgiveness and apology. From the Christian, Our Father who art in heaven prayer, which talks about forgiving our trespasses as well as forgiving those who trespass against us. The prayer of St. Francis of Assisi professes many ways to foster forgiveness and supporting positive interpersonal relations, including the line, "May I not so much seek to be understood as to understand." And a little later, "It is in pardoning that we are pardoned." In the Bible, many are familiar with the quote from Luke chapter 23, verses 34. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." In the Buddhist loving kindness practices, the suggestions of sending loving kindness not only to yourself and those you love, but also those who you're struggling with, as none of us know all the burdens someone has in their lives. And the ninth step of AA is about making amends to those you have hurt. But in real life, there are events that occur that maybe can't be forgiven. Holocausts, genocides, rapes, physical, emotional abuse, killings. There must be justice for these horrors. An eye for an eye. Lock them up and throw away the key. Send them to hell, or worse, social purgatory, where they are dismissed as a person and yet their crime never is forgiven, branded on them like the proverbial scarlet letter. And yet there are stories of people. Stories like an Iranian woman whose initials are SA, whose teenage son was murdered. Nothing can be as heart-wrenching as to have your child killed. Retribution was her only thought. But in a dramatic turn of the gallows, literally moments before the killer was to be executed, she made a last-minute decision to pardon the man. Or Pascal Kavanaugh, who knew after surviving years of violent abuse from her mother that they would never reconnect. And then her mother suffered several strokes that left her unable to communicate or take care of herself. With no one else to help, Kavanaugh began to sit by her mother's bedside and read to her. Through this, she says the hate she had for her mother dissipated into forgiveness and love. If one walks the path of compassion and gratitude, then one runs into situations where a seemingly simple conflict can look or feel like a gaping wound, done not only to yourself, but to the other as well. And if we all are connected, then if I hurt you, I also hurt me. Or to turn it around, if you hurt me, then I too have hurt you somehow, and that is painful to experience. Most of us want to alleviate pain, both for ourselves as well as others. And one way to do that is through letting go of our own pride or defensiveness and put ourselves in the vulnerable position of saying, I'm sorry I hurt you. Not only does this help keep needed relationships going, it can also help us calm our tightened stomach and take away the ache in our heart. Sandra Walker was in a life-changing car accident, sustaining severe brain injury and the death of her husband. Alone, she was having to raise their 2 children. During the trial for the accident, she said she sympathized with the woman who crashed into them, who had also lost a child in the accident, and gave her a hug. I know she is going through as much pain as I am feeling. I wanted her to know that I forgive her for what she did. What a vulnerable place she allowed herself to be in, to remind herself of the interconnection between all of us. And through her forgiveness of the other woman, she also possibly gained a deeper truth about herself. Whether you were wronged or the one in the wrong, the longer the grudge is held onto, the more our physical, if not our psychological health is affected. All the stress reactions increase, such as blood pressure, inability to sleep, overeating or drinking. Apologizing can help with these, as well as anxiety, and renew relationships. Matt Swetzel fell asleep while driving after a long shift at the fire department and crashed into another vehicle, taking the life of a pregnant mother, June Fitzgerald, and her 19-month-old daughter. Fitzgerald's husband asked for the man's diminished sentence and began meeting with him for coffee and conversation. Many years later, the 2 men remained close. To quote Fitzgerald, "You forgive as you've been forgiven." Jack Kornfield talks about how forgiveness enables us to be released from the sorrows of the past. He states that forgiveness does not justify or condone harmful actions, but is an act of the heart, a moment to let go of pain, resentment, outrage. No one gets out of this life without experiencing some kind of harm, harming ourselves as well as those around us. Though forgiveness may take many years for deep wounds, the practice of forgiving can release the pain in your heart and allow you to realize you no longer have to carry it. I hope I have grown and changed since I was that 7-year-old who laughed at a haircut, trying to be aware of others more before reacting, looking to support before judgment, and stopping to look at 2 sides of a situation. It is so hard to forgive yourself when you've done something hurtful, and even more so when there's a sense of public shame. How does one forgive oneself and move forward? Vicky A. Zinn wrote a poem about the idea of self-forgiveness. The poem starts out, "How do I learn to truly forgive myself? How do I stop blaming myself for the mistakes I have made? How do I find peace within myself to move forward instead of always looking backwards? How do I turn this around before I totally lose myself again?" And then the last stanza is, "The only way to do this is to try to forgive myself, while realizing that those who also recognize my true beauty are the ones that deserve to be part of my life. As the haze lifts more and more each day, I do believe I will find my way again. Just some more bumps along this road they call life." The other day, I was asking someone for what I thought was straightforward information. Items I needed for my work were missing, and I wanted to know if they had been moved or were permanently gone, and could we get new ones? Something I said hit the person the wrong way. Their face got red, their eyebrows bent in an angry expression, and they started yelling about how they were just doing what they had been told to do, and this was just how it started last time, and yeah, just go talk to the manager. I tried to apologize right away and find out what had upset them so much, but it just seemed to make matters worse, and finally they stormed off. Although I tried to keep calm and even-tempered, I too was very upset by the encounter and started crying when I was alone, responding to the angry energy I felt wash over me like a gigantic tidal wave. I felt I had failed because I couldn't make amends and peace immediately in the situation. My first response was not to interact with this person again, though that could be difficult since we both work together almost daily. I was feeling almost in shock and knew that if I tried to speak to them right away, I would be a blubbering, incoherent mess. So I sent them an email, apologizing for making them upset, telling them I respected them and that I hoped we would be able to collaborate in the future. And then I told myself, just let it go. I had hoped that my action would have been enough for them to feel comfortable reaching out as well. It hasn't. I have found that I have had to repeatedly forgive this person in my head and heart, to slowly get rid of the embittered disappointment and unfairness I feel, and try to see things through their eyes and their lived experience. I do this as much for myself as I do for the person who hurt me and who I somehow hurt. I've started making a point every time I see them to look them in the eye, say hello, and say their name. I would like to think it is slowly working. They are starting to say hi back and look at me some of the time. I don't know if we will ever be friends. We don't need to be. And forgiving someone and trusting someone are two separate, different things. Seeing them as a hurt person who attacked without thinking and trying to just let them be who they are and let myself be who I am by saying hello and saying their name, at least lets them know that I see them. I recognize them. I see the inherent worth and dignity of their presence. And now I have the word update, question mark. There is an update. Recently, something happened where I gave information too early, and I was telling people when I was going to be gone and what groups were going to be canceled, and that information got to them without all the full information, so they canceled my groups for that day. So there was, amongst the clients and staff, much hullabaloo. And they came to me and they said, Sarah, I'm sorry, this is my fault. I did this. I was shocked. And of course, immediately said, that's totally okay. I realized, I gave the information out too early, and that's fine, and I appreciate you coming and letting me know. And then a few minutes later, he apologized again. Didn't need to do that, but I again said, it's totally okay. It's fine. Everything has worked out. Thank you for letting me know. It's okay. Then, as the clients came down, he started apologizing to them. And frankly, they were way past it. Once they found out that they could still go on the outing, that's all they cared about. So they were happy, so, and mistakes happen all the time. And I was just struck by how much he was concerned that he had done something wrong and that it had potentially affected all these people. And so, again, I tried to reassure him, everything is fine. It's fine. But it just showed to me how sometimes something that we might think is small can be quite large for another person. So that is the update. So I was pleased that he felt comfortable enough to reach out to me. And so the art of apology continues. The care of the soul while caring for others, the letting go of hurts done to me while acknowledging the hurt I have caused. It's all a jumble mess in the spiritual experiences and journey we call being human. I plan on keep on practicing the art. And now, it is a good spiritual practice to have something daily that you look at or recite, remembering you of the path you are on and what you want to focus on. In Buddhism, there is the Bodhisattva vow, promising to help others through your life work. In Christianity, one such prayer is the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. It is a good reminder to try and stay forgiving and humble enough to remember the importance of apologies and forgiveness. Listen to the words. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I might not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
We support UUCS through our pledges, time, and connections with one another. We support the Salem community through donations to the Marion Polk Food Share, and for the month of April, the minister's discretionary fund. Please send your checks to UUCS or visit the website to donate. Thank you for maintaining the community of UUCS and for helping the wider community of Salem.
There's no place in this world where I'll belong when I'm gone, and I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone, and you won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here, and I won't feel the flowing of the time when I'm gone. All the pleasures of love will not be mine when I'm gone. My pen won't pour a lyric line when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't breathe the bracing air when I'm gone. And I can't even worry about my cares when I'm gone. And I won't be asked to do my share when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't be running from the rain when I'm gone. And I can't even suffer from the pain when I'm gone. And I can't say who's to praise and who's to blame when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I won't see the golden of the sun when I'm gone, and the evenings and the mornings will be one when I'm gone. I can't be singing louder than the guns when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. All my days won't be dancing of delight when I'm gone, and the sands will be shifting from my sight when I'm gone. I can't add my name to the fight when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. And I won't be laughing at the lies when I'm gone, and I can't question how or when or why when I'm gone. I can't live proud enough to die when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Oh, there's no place in the world where I'll belong when I'm gone, and I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone, and you won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Oh, I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
Next Sunday, it says a musical service with David Roth. Experience a musical service through the gift of spiritual musician David Roth. And now we have a Tend the Flame update from Lorna.
Good morning. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from a cold that seems to be making the rounds of the world. Many of you, I hope, saw the email we sent out early last week talking about the gap we have in our giving in the finance to support the church. There is embedded in that email, and it's going to go out again early this week, there's a lovely little YouTube video that was prepared by Ben Cavaletto, mad skills there. Of course, I'm a cyber immigrant, not a cyber native, in which he explains why we have a gap between what we need to keep the congregation healthy and alive and the amount of money that has been contributed through the pledges. And we're still short. We were looking for about $40,000, which is a 20% increase in giving by on average. And we raised $10,000 over the last few days, which I'm really, really proud that we've had that kind of response. But time is getting short for us. We need to get our budget together, and because we've got the May annual meeting coming up, we've got to get the budget balanced and then submitted to the board for their review and their recommendation to move it on to you all at the annual meeting. So I urge you, please, at this kind of last hour, to do what you can to help increase your support to the best of your abilities so that we can maintain the kind of loving and warm and active environment that UUCS offers. Thank you.
For news of the community, you can keep up with the UUCS news by email, by Facebook, hot topics and news, to uusalem.org website, from the newsletter, and many, many other ways. We take the light from our chalice, lighting the social justice lantern, as a symbolic reminder of the light and justice that we carry out into the world. As we extinguish the chalices, let us hear these words by Laura Lynn Bellamy. If here you have found freedom, take it with you out into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another, and then they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace.
Please rise in body or spirit as you're able and sing the closing hymn, number 89 in the gray hymnal or up on the wall. Come my way, my truth, my life.
Come my way, my truth, my life, such a way as gives us breath, such a truth as ends all strife, such a life as killeth death. Come my light, my feast, my strength, such a light as shows a feast, such a feast as mends in length, such a strength as makes a guest. Come my joy, my love, my heart, such a joy as none can move, such a love as none can part.
Let us join with our community members, guests, family, and friends saying these words together. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come. Blessed be.
One time, remember when we would wear a cami underneath and a shirt over the top? So my shirt, I buttoned the shirt